Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of How to Make Games in Java, or Making Games in Java, or Make Games in Java. One of those names is the correct name. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to begin working on the tiles for our memory match game. We're just going to explain core concepts in Java today mostly. Not really going to get the game going too much yet, because you guys need to understand these core concepts before we can move forward to more complex games. That's why we're making a simple game now. So, first thing that we are going to do is we're going to launch this and just look at the progress we have so far. Right now we have a window that can be, resized. Resized. Up, down, right, left. I keep clicking there. Maximized and unmaximized, minimized, and of course brought up, and then closed, and it shuts down the whole program. So that's what we want right now. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a new package. So new package, right click on source, new package, and then name, and we're going to name this tiles. Nope, not titles, tiles. And inside tiles, right click tiles, new class, and we're going to make tile. Nothing extra to be added. And this is going to be what is known as our superclass, the actual definition of all the tiles below it. So let me give a quick idea about how this memory match game will work. What it'll be is every tile will have, like, I'm thinking black maybe as a background. Like, if we were to look at I don't have any, like, cards in here. Okay, actually I do. I think. Let's see if this would work. No, alright, I don't have any, like, playing cards or trading cards that I can show to demonstrate this. But as a lot of you know, you've probably played card games before, like Go Fish or Solitaire, anything with playing cards, poker cards, anything like that. On the back, there's a design usually. Like Bicycle has a signature design and stuff, and that's it. Bicycle is a playing card company. And then on the other side, you usually have a plain white background with the number or letter of what kind of card it is. Then, like, 1, 2, 3, no ones. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King. And then you've got the symbol like hearts, clubs, whatever. And then sometimes there's a design in the middle of it, like a Jack or a Queen or a King, or just a numerical representation of the symbol for that card. Well, those backgrounds are what I'm really worried about. I know I kind of just discussed everything, but the backgrounds are what I'm worried about right now. I think we'll go with black for the background, and then on the other side of each of the cards displayed on the screen will be a color: green, blue, yellow, something like that, and that will represent what kind of card it is. And when you click on a card, you have to match them. So hopefully you guys know what a matching game is, and I don't have to explain the whole thing, but that's how it's going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a basic tile, which is also kind of the card, but we're going to call it tile. A tile which can be any of the colors, but this just defines the basics of it. This defines how a tile works, and then we'll make subtiles that change the colors, basically. They change the colors. So we're going to make a private. So in this episode, we're going to go over a lot of core concepts. It's going to be a fairly long episode. Like I said, it's going to be a fairly long episode. And we're going to go over core concepts. So private, here, like, I think they're called the, I actually don't know what they're called. Private, public, protected. I think that's all of them, right? I'm not exactly sure. These are three like privacy degrees that you can use in C# or in Java. Sorry, in Java. Public means anybody, anywhere can use it. Private means only this class. Nothing else in this class can access. Nothing else outside of this class can access whatever this private variable or method is. And protected means anything that, or this class and anything that inherits from this class. And I'll explain inheritance in a moment. So we're going to go with private because we don't want anybody else to be able to directly touch this variable. We're going private color, face color, and we're going to set it to color.white. So we're going to now, nope, go away. Color.white, and just doing that will automatically import java.awt.color for us. And that will represent the color that is shown when you click on it. And now we're going to make a new public tile color C. This dot face color equals C. So what this is doing is this is going to be our constructor for the tile. It's a public constructor, so anybody can make a new tile. And in there we're supplying a color. So I'm going to quickly cover what a color is. Obviously you guys know what a color is. Those of you in like the UK and stuff, you spell it like that, I think. But in Java we spell it the American way. Color, obviously, if you're watching this video, there's a ton of colors coming through YouTube's player right now. Whatever color my skin is on here. We've got this white background here. We've got this like black color for some of the letters, this purplish color for the others. That's a color, right? Okay, well Java, it's basically the same thing, but it stores the red, green, and blue RGB on a scale of 0 to 255 for each piece of the color, and then it represents that on the screen. So we're taking a color, and that's going to be the color represented by this. Right now we're just going to set this background color, or hold on. What? I thought I changed that. No, go away. Anyway, but we're going to make this actually extends JLabel. Okay. By extent, we're going to import JLabel as well. And JLabel is a Java thing that, or a Java component that you can put into GUIs, which is graphical user interfaces. This is a GUI. This entire program here that you see is a GUI. Everything you see is a graphical user interface. So a JLabel is a part of that. Typically, it's just something to hold text. It can't be changed through like typing. It just holds text and displays text. But we're going to use it not to display any text, but just so that we can display a color to the screen. So this face color equals C, and we're going to do this background. Oops. Stupid. Background, or I think it's set background, right? Yeah, set background color black. That's going to be our default color. So in control, we're going to make a new method in control, which we're going to call private setup game. Oh yeah, private void setup game. It's not going to return anything. And we're going to call it here, setup game. Before it's even visible, we're going to call this method. So in this method, all we're going to do right now is new is add. Alright, so how do you, here's a question I need to ask you all before we continue. How do you get these buttons, this whole text editor, stuff like this onto a GUI application? How do you put it into a window? Well, you add it to the list of components in the window, and then the window kind of takes care of itself and all the components after that. So we're going to add a new component, which remember our tile, since it inherits from, extends JLabel. it actually, this is a great opportunity. I'll go into it in a minute. We can add it to this. So we're just going to add new tile. And we're going to go color.white right now. What's the problem here? Oh, get content pane. Alright, so get content pane to add. Right? Okay, and then we'll import tile. And we'll import color. So what does this get content pane do? Well, this get content pane, if we were to have run this, the content pane is that blank space in the window. That's where you can put different things into the window, is in the content pane. It's a panel, a J panel, I think, or something along those lines. I know we haven't covered those yet, but a content pane is just like where everything is in a window, where you see stuff. It's not this border, it's not these buttons up here, it's inside of that. So we're going to add a new tile, and its color is going to be white. Right now that's completely useless to us, so we're not even going to really touch it. But now, let's see, what's the problem here? What's the warning? Oh, no, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, now we're going to run this. Oh. Actually, before I continue, I do know what the problem is, why we didn't see it. I'm going to explain this a little bit. So, I'm going to explain this more next episode as well. What is polymorphism? Well, polymorphism is... We're going to actually remove this. Let's get rid of that. We're going to cut that. And we're going to make a new public set color. Actually, no. Protected void set face color. Color C. And there we go. Alright, so what does extending do? Well, it actually makes it a JLabel. It makes it a JLabel with extras. I said this last episode, I think. But I'm going to go in a bit more detail now. So, let's take... My favorite way of making an example of this is to take... Sometimes I'll take people, sometimes I'll take a cup of water or something. In this example, I'm going to take a cup of water right now. So, alright. Not only water. But, alright, so if you had... no. Alright. So you have a glass, right? You have a cup, plastic cup, glass cup, whatever. You have a cup. You know that it is a cup. But then, looking at the cup, you can define it as, okay, this is made out of glass, or it's a glass cup, but it's still a cup, right? It's just got the extra properties of glass. Like, it'll shatter easy, but it also looks nicer, it feels good, and it's easy to clean, typically. Or it can be a plastic cup, and in that case, it doesn't break easily, but it doesn't look all that nice. Sometimes it can feel kind of weird, and it can be difficult to clean. Though it's still a cup, though. The plastic and the glass cup are both still a cup. But they're made differently, and they have different properties that make them different from each other, but they're still both cups. They still are both meant to hold liquid in them and to be used to drink whatever liquid you put into them. They're still cups. And then you can go further with it, and you can go by the size of the cup. It can be a small cup, it can be a large cup, it can be a super huge cup, but it's still a cup, right? You know it's still a cup, you just recognize it by its different properties of being smaller, bigger, or super huge. And even further, you can go by what's inside of it. Is it a cup of water? Is it a cup of milk? Is it a cup of orange juice? All of that, there's something in there, but it still could be a glass cup, it could be a plastic cup, it could be a small cup, it could be a large cup, it could be a super large cup, and then it could have whatever's in it. But they're all still, no matter what, it's still a cup. So in this case, tile is an extension of JLabel. So you can see tile kind of like you can see JLabel is like the cup in this, and tile tile is like the glass cup. Okay? It's still a cup, but it has extras that make it more specific to that one type of cup. It's still a cup, but it has its own properties that make it different from other cups. So in this instance, a tile has the difference from a J label that we're using. We have a private face color property. We change what the background is, and we have this extra method down here called set face color, and it takes the color C. There's a lot more to it, but I'm trying to give you guys the basic idea of polymorphism. Okay? Polymorphism is just things inheriting from each other. So let's go back to my cup idea though. And how does this set background change anything? Well, if you have your cup, and say it's a glass cup, say it's a small glass cup, alright? It still has the property that it holds something. That's in every cup. That's what makes it a cup, kind of. You still see that it's made to drink something out of. That makes it a cup. And that it's meant to hold liquid. Those three things make it a cup. And then, from there, your glass cup, it still has all three of those abilities, all three of those properties, but then it has the properties of being a glass cup, and then even more, it has the properties of being a small glass cup, meaning it can't hold as much. It's easier to hold in your hand, though, and sometimes it's the perfect amount for however much water or milk or whatever you want to drink, so that you don't take too much and you're satisfied. It also has, even further than that, every cup has its own design, right? It's got its own shape, its own everything. So it's a small glass cup, and then it's got even more details just to itself. But because of that small glass cup still has the properties of being a glass cup, it still has the properties of being a small cup, and most importantly, it still has the properties of being a cup at all. So this tile still has everything that a J label has. Everything a J label has, this tile has, but it also has extras, and it can choose to get rid of some of the abilities of the J label if it wanted to. So it still has everything. This can still, if we do the cup thing again, this is still kind of like, it can still hold liquid and it can still be drank from, but it has extras, like it has its own design, the face color and the background, and it's got its own way of using it, like this set face color. Like if you had a mug, it's still a cup, but it's got that extra handle that you're supposed to use to drink with it, right? Alright, so that hopefully explains how this all works. Now that we've done that though, what's the problem over here? Oh, okay, we're going to get rid of that. And now we're going to run this program. And you guys should expect to see it here. Why? Because it is here, and if we go down here and we do system.out.println, adding tiles, and we run this, we do see that it says it's adding tiles. So we know it's working. And I just close it by clicking that terminate button. We know it's working, but we don't see it. Why? Well, because JLabel isn't automatically big enough for you to see. It's automatically set to 0. So we're going to change the size. Set size, or actually set preferred size, new dimension, alright? So JLabels and basically everything that is a GUI in Java Swing, which is the GUI thing, what you make graphical user interfaces out of. Set preferred size is built into those, and it takes a dimension, and in Java, this dimension is just like an x and or a width and a height. Okay, so we're gonna take the width and the height, and we're gonna say like, I don't know, 50 by 50. All right, new dimension 50 by 50. And we're going to import this. And now it's going to be 50 by 50 pixels tall. But the reason it's set preferred size is because if the window was too small to hold it, it would shrink it a little bit because it knows it can't fit that much. That's why we have to use set preferred size. Still begs the question though, as to why that's not visible. Oh, one last thing is labels automatically have their background set to transparent and you can't see it. So how do we make their transparent visible? Well, we'll use a built-in thing again with basically everything in the swing library. Set opaque false. Alright, so right now it's set to set it to true. Right now it's set to false, because as you guys know, opaque means you can't see through it. Like my hand, you can't see through it, but you can see through glass because it's not opaque, it's transparent. So we want to set this to true, okay? So now that we've set opaque to true, our background should finally show up. There we go. We've got this huge thing. It's a lot bigger than we had planned on making it, but that again is because it can also expand the size of something. The layout manager, which we'll get into the layout manager soon. It can expand the size of something by just this, because it didn't have a maximum size, it had a preferred size. So how can we make a maximum and minimum size? Well, first thing, we're going to want to set a private final static size equals new dimension 50/50. And we're going to actually want dimension, obviously, because you have to name what kind of value a variable can hold in Java. So now I'm going to go over these two, private and final. Final means you can't change the value. Once it's been set once, it can never be changed again. Static means you don't have to make a new tile to access this. It's just automatically always there with the style, or with the class. And private means only this class can access it, nobody else. And we're going to set it to a new dimension. So we're going to set minimum size, set maximum size, and set preferred size. For some reason it's... Anyway. The reason it's doing that is because of the layout manager automatically used by Java. It doesn't really care about this minimum and maximum always. That's the thing about layouts in Java, is they can be confusing. But we'll get into those later on. For now, all we really need to know is that we have successfully added a tile to our screen. No! Go away. I keep hitting the hotkey that brings up screen draw with Camtasia Studio. I do want to see this though. So, oh hey, would you look at that? I can help you guys see stuff easier. Alright? So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like or the dislike button corresponding to how you felt about this video. And I will catch you guys later.